Let's see if I have sound this time. Well, it says I'm live on both of my devices. There we go. Alrighty. Welcome. It's Lori. Late Night Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you on a very windy Sunday night. I did try to get on here before midnight, but of course, YouTube wasn't helping. Hello, Yuda. How are you tonight? Took me a couple of tries to get on here. Thanks for hanging in there, right? I got a little bit of a mess going on here. All right, there's my little welcome message. How are you doing? You're relaxed? Awesome. Awesome. I will get there. I accomplished almost nothing today, and that's okay. We went out for breakfast with friends, and I came home, and I putzed around a little bit, and then I took a long nap, because I had to get up early to go to breakfast with friends, and I was here early, so I didn't get to sleep. So I took a nap, and then a little after that, our granddaughter came and we made cookies and decorated gnome Christmas cookies. We found a cookie kit that we actually had to make and roll out the cookie dough. Who knew? So that's what I did. And then, yeah, it's really windy here. It started to snow. It's cold. So I had to go check on my little ladies in the yard, and here I am. We're hoping nothing blows away. It was a good day. Yeah, except that our niece's mother-in-law passed away. So I have to make that card nobody wants to make, right? Nobody wants to send it. So we're going to work on that. But then I'm going to pull out something new too. So it'll all be good. We know how that goes. So you've got cold and snow too. Yeah, I don't know how much we're supposed to get, but it's going to be icy because it was raining pretty much the whole day, or misting at least. Yeah, it was an ugly day. So let's get going. All right, let me do my quickie little announcements. Product of the month, this True Blues floral paper. I think it's still available. I haven't looked. In the United States, it takes a minimum purchase of $75 to become eligible to get this for $5 extra. If you have questions, let me know. I've been talking about it all month. January, probably like that first week in January, we're going to have a new product of the month. So if you didn't like the December one and you want to wait and see what the January one is, if there's still leftovers of this in January, you will still be able to purchase this, but we can only get one. All right, so it doesn't matter. You can't get one in December and one in January and one in February. If there's extra, you can only get one. All right. If you're a demonstrator, if you're thinking about going to Onstage, which is our fabulous conference convention, you need to register by January 16th. If you've got questions about that, let me know. I will be there. We are going to be in Long Beach, California, for the United States version. Someday I would like to go to another market where they have it. Australia would probably be a good choice. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Virtual card retreat. I have mine. Do you have yours? If you're local to me and want to do a watch party with me, make sure that you've ordered your kit or your retreat, because you need all of the parts and pieces in there. All right. So that's January 22nd and 23rd. It's running from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m., which is mountain time. So by me, it'll be from 3 to 10. We'll have open studio time. If you're thinking of coming over, you need to let me know ahead of time though, so I can plan accordingly. We got a new catalog coming up. I can start showing you the inside of this in about a week. All right. For right now, the rule is I can only show you the cover. And all of December, I've been talking about my new store name, latenightLori.stampinup.net. You can find all the goings on with Stampin' Up. You can shop with me. You can see some of my projects, which after Christmas, hopefully, I will get some more projects posted. All right. So I should look and see if this is still available, because I haven't looked it up. Because this is what I was planning on using tonight. It is, looks like just the dies are available now on the last chance list. So let me look this up and see if by number it'll come up. It might not. It might be gone. It is gone. All right, but these dies are still available, and the dies are super cool. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There should be 9. What am I missing? There should be 9 dies. All right, well, I'll have to figure that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alrighty, I'll have to figure out which die is missing. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Huh, the picture only shows what I have. I wonder if this counts as 2 or something. I don't know. No, it says 8. What am I looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just can't count. All right. So we are supposed, I can hear the wind. I don't know if you can hear the wind. Every once in a while it really kicks up. Our wind is supposed to get to like gusts of 45 to 50 miles an hour. Crazy. Very crazy. So anyway, I am going to try to do a sympathy card. I have to make several of them, but I want them all to be different. So before we get down to business here, and it's going to be a quick and easy one, and then we're going to go to something that I think is going to be a little more fun. I'm going to pull out a new product that's called Fragrant Layers. That's actually pretty cool. But I did want to look at this card from yesterday, because Bonnie M, first off, didn't like orange, which is fine. It's not everybody's jam. But she also didn't like the Darling Duckling ribbon on there. So I took some of the Calypso Coral and Petal Pink and took my alcohol blends and colored that down a little bit so it's not bright yellow anymore. And I think it actually looks better this way. So this was my leftover from yesterday that I wanted to just kind of update everybody. I'm going to do some more of this like kissing technique where you ink up a stamp and then you put another stamp on it that has a different texture. We actually did that with the paper, but same effect. So if Bonnie comes on, remind me to show her that card. All right. So I have this card base ready to go. I actually had a couple of card kits left over from a class. So I thought I would use it up. And I just used the Secret Sea card base, a piece of the Designer Series paper, and this is cut to probably like 4 inches by 5.5. And I just glued that to the front. Now, quick and easy, sometimes it's just the name of the game, right? I have some of these other pieces that went on the card. I don't think I want to use those. But the set we used last night, let me grab it. Nature Symphony. I just love this foliage piece. This is a die. There's not a stamp that goes with it. But there are some other texture things, so we'll probably use those too one of these days, where it just puts like hash marks or dots in your paper, and I think that could be really fun. But anyway, so tonight I thought we would use this, and at first I thought maybe just the white, and then I stamped with Deepest Sympathy, that's from this set, and I put it on there. And I wasn't sure about my ribbon, if I wanted to do a bow. I had a white dove out here too. She had been sick for quite a long time, so it wasn't really a surprise, unexpected, but you know, they had hoped she would hang on a little bit longer. So what do you think about just something plain and simple like that? Would that work? Or my other thought to break up the white here was to use some of this glimmer paper from this suite and just kind of layer those a little bit to have some white highlights come out from behind there, and maybe do a little ink blending on our dove. So I'm going to go ahead and at least do the ink blending right now. And I have this little like template from one of the last times we played with this. And I'm just going to add a little bit of subtle color to the dove. So it's not in your face white. And then I'll use a journaling pen to add the eye. And I'm just doing several dots. All right. And then we'll add some flowers too, but I'm not sure what color. So this is just a very simple sympathy card. So I think since I have no other comments, hopefully people can still hear me. Yep, okay, I'll just check the volume again. I'm just gonna go start gluing some of these together. I'm gonna glue the white one down first because I think that blue needs a little bit of lift color-wise. Our wind is really blowing. Has it been cold and snowy all day by you, Yuta? We didn't get really windy until later, like this evening. It got really windy. I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals up on those top leaves, I think. And I'm going to use my black dimensionals just so that they don't show. I'm going to cut out some of these edging pieces here. Do you have any plans for New Year's? Do you celebrate New Year's? I was gonna have like a kit together, blind date with a kit sort of thing on the 30th, but I didn't get any announcement out for it, so I don't think that's gonna happen because that's like tomorrow-ish. Let's just cut a couple of strips of these and I can use this one for something else. So sometimes these go together just really quick. I'm surprised. I'm going to use white ones for this back of this. And maybe it's just going quick because I want to move on to something more fun. But it's got to be done. Oh, and I didn't even think anymore about the ribbon. I think the ribbon might be a little much with the glimmer there. I'm just going to leave the ribbon off. But I am going to put some of these flower embellishments on here, and we're going to call this one done. I'll put a layer on the inside to write on, and that'll be it. I'm going to use these little, I'm going to use the cloud cover ones and just put them over there. Oops. Oh, that was a white one. I didn't mean to do that. But it's on there now. It's staying. I'm going to put 5 on here just to use up some of these. I wonder if these are on a last chance list also. I'm going to check. There. Let me check. All right, so the hues of blue flowers are still available. Hello, Vicki. Welcome. I saw your tags video. I don't know if it was a reel you made or what, with the like the 4 red tags that you made into a little book. I think it was. I gave you a like. I didn't leave any comments, but I gave you a like. All right, so that's all I'm going to do with this one. I think that'll work. And then I thought I brought over a layer, but I think I'll put cloud cover and white on the inside, and then I will get that in the mail tomorrow. So let's move on to something a little more fun, if that's all right. That's going up there, and we are gonna, this is all, like I said, this stamp set is no longer available, but the dies are still available. There's a really nice label in here, and that foliage piece is really, really pretty as well. So that will be retiring. Oh, let me see if the paper is available. Peaceful Garden. The paper is still available too, so it just looks like the stamp set and the dies that are on the last chance list. All right. So let me move some of these things out of the way and let's bring out a new set that I have. A little more stuff out of the way here. I did clean up my crafting table earlier. I mean, just before I was going live. Let me get these things out of here too. Get that out of there. And I need to put that die away too so I don't lose it. Because that would be very unfortunate. So how are things by you, Vicki? It's cold, windy, and snowy here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, what am I missing on this one? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There should be 1, 2, 3. Oh, where's this one? That's there. The wood, the dots. Oh. I'm missing that die. We had that one out yesterday too. I wonder what I did with it. All right. That one's not getting put away until I find it. Hello, Susan from Melbourne, Australia. Welcome. I will have to find that other die. Oh boy. I remember using it now too. That's why I always do a head count before I put my dies away. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm missing that one. All right, we'll have to track it down. All right, so let's move on to this one. I wonder if I put it in here. Nope. All right. 7. I at least have all the stamps in there. So how's the weather by you, Susan? My ring just went off, so either something is blowing around my front yard or there's an animal trying to get out of the elements. Poor things. It is cold, windy, and snowy by me here in Wisconsin. All right, so you can see one of these dies. Here's another die. It still had a bunch of pieces in it because I did play with this, and I'm going to show you in just a second what it looks like. And then I also have this die. And then there are, so there's 13 altogether. And I'm going to write that on here right now so I don't lose track. So 13. That way when I do my head count, I don't have to look at the little print on the label. So this set is actually very pretty. I wasn't going to get it at first, and then I saw one of the other demonstrators had done a quick little sample from her pre-order. And these are textured. Those are all textured. So what I'm going to do first is take this layer off. I am going to wash them. I suppose I probably shouldn't do that on my paper, right? And I'm going to let those dry a little bit. And then I'm going to stamp that on a piece of copier paper. 6 my temperature, Fahrenheit. Yeah, midsummer for you. Yeah, it's barely into winter for us. All right, I thought I had a piece of copier paper handy. There we go. So what I'm going to do is just ink this up. So you're doing better? I didn't know you were not doing well. Oh, he has to put EMT school on hold, huh? That's a shame. All right, so we're going to ink all these up. And you can see I'm not even taking it off of the plastic carrier sheet. If that's what you call it. But I did get some ink on here, so I'm just going to flip that over in a second. All right, and then I'm just going to lay this on top. And try not to let that move. And then we know exactly what needs to go where. So when I tape this in here, I'm actually going to use some of my seal. We'll put seal. Oops, I guess I have to take that cover off. I'm just going to put one strip of seal on there. I don't need a whole lot. I just need enough. And then we'll just let that lay down in there. So now, when I clean this again, I love my chamois. Who else has a chamois or something similar? I mean, basically you just go kind of like this and it lifts out all the ink. And then you just rinse it out and keep it damp. If you let it dry out all the way, it just takes a while for it to get saturated again. But now, oops, I need my other plastic sheet because we still want to put the plastic sheet on there. Now, what I have seen some people complaining about the new packaging, just as a reminder, they're taking this plastic piece off and thinking they can put it right on the inside here. And then when they peel it off, they've got paper stuck to the photopolymer. You can't do that. You still need to use that carrier sheet or adhere your carrier sheet here so that when you put your dies on there, it has something to stick to. But then you'd have to put one carrier sheet on this side and one carrier sheet on this side so that when you open and close it, it's on there. To me, I'd rather be able to go like this and peel them off of my carrier sheets. I hope that makes sense. But then you can see too, I'm going to try to zoom this in a little bit. With these stamps here, they're like that distinctive where they've got, it's almost like pixelated. So there's automatic shading in there. If you have a really inky ink pad, or if you really squish hard with your ink pad, you're going to lose some of that natural highlighting that is designed into the stamp. So less ink is preferable to more ink on that, just so you know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put that there. But I think the star of this is actually the dies, because when you take these 3 dies, I mean, they look nice on their own, and you can kind of see where the die will cut out, and this is reduced in size from the die. So you can see where this will cut out the flowers, and then there's some pieces to do the foliage. maybe if I can get this unstuck. So there's some pieces to cut out the foliage. All right, so there's all of that. And then you have 2 of these. And I'm going to zoom this back out, I guess. All right, so you've got 1 for here, looks like. And then we have another one for here. Those might be the same. I'm not sure. All right, so the dies will cut out from those flowers, those floral images. And then we also have this piece that could go on there and create texture, because you can see all the little like petal lines in there. So that'll create texture. This then would cut out the outlines, and then this cuts out another outline that goes on top. All right, so let me show you. I ran this through my die cut, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine once on just some scrap paper. Now, this piece doesn't cut the edges. All right, it cuts basically like a window. So this goes like that, even though it looks like it would cut out the whole thing. I didn't even look at it. There's not the cutting edges along the outside. So that's kind of cool. That'll make a layer for your card. All right. And then this is the piece from here that's got the texture. Hopefully you can see, I think you can see the texture on there. And then this is the outline piece. So if we go like this, those line up and it gives some dimension to your flowers. I don't know if these are supposed to be like hollyhock flowers or what they are. But then this will go behind here and give it even more dimension. Isn't that pretty? Now this is just scrap paper. I don't even know. It's scrap cardstock. I don't remember what color it is, like mint macaron or something. So we need to decide what color do we want to make this, because we're going to make a card with this window, and then I think we'll add some of these little flourishes, and maybe we'll just cut out all of the things. Now this must be to create a stem, maybe? Maybe that's to create a stem. You think? Do you think that's to create a stem? Huh. I wonder. Or it might be to create a stem for this. For this piece here. Oh, I bet that's what it's for. I bet that would be what it's for. And then there's these really cute little sentiment labels on here. So these will work with the "It's your day, so happy for you, just a note." Or there's this smaller one that will work as well for "Hello, just a note," or "It's your day." It looks like that'll work for any of them except for "So happy for you." That's going to need the longer one. And then I'm thinking there would be room for flowers to add on there. So we'll leave these out. We'll see what we're going to do. Oh, and then there's these flowers too. So I'm not sure. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. So maybe I should just leave these on here. What color do we want to work on? And then I wonder if we should just use that striped and dotted paper that I used yesterday. Let me pull that in here. All right, so here's that striped and dotted paper, and we used that to do a couple of cards last night. This was one of them. I don't see Bonnie here yet, but I wanted to show Bonnie that with the yellow toned down a little bit. So if we envision these as a card layer, what do you think? Should we go with the Lost Lagoon today? And then maybe do the flowers in a brighter color? Let me go get a Lost Lagoon ink pad. And that gives us Daffodil Delight, Very Vanilla, maybe Cajun Craze. Pretty Peacock would be pretty. Oh, we could do that. We could make the, thanks for popping in, Yuta. Sleep well. When I look at Yuta's name, I always put that J in there, and I try not to do that. So, Yuta, if you're still here, I apologize for putting that J sound on there. So, do you think Pretty Peacock and the Lost Lagoon would be good? And then maybe a white layer for the front? Let's see how that looks with just a white layer once. We could do it kind of framed. So this paper, this dotted and striped, or striped and dotted, whatever it is, this paper was only available to demonstrators based on a sales challenge. And it was for kits. I'm going to do this to 3.5, I think. And then if we do it to, if I do 3.5, we'd have to go to 4 3/4 to have it kind of balanced. Well, it's still something that I should be better at, Yuta. It's just like when I read it, so, sometimes I mess myself up. If I just am thinking it, I'm better. So this one, I think we can pull out our boss, a little Betsy. And run this through. And that should work. Now, because I can't angle this, maybe I will pull out my bigger one. Because if I use that little one, when you run a die that's got a straight edge like this through the machine, it's always easier if you lead with a corner, and there's just not enough room in my little Betsy here. I should have looked up some of the samples for this maybe, but I'm just kind of winging it. From having cut out my few dies here, I really liked them. So I thought, let's play. Maybe we should put that in the middle. I was thinking more near the top, because then we can put the sentiment across here. Does everybody agree? Near the top, okay? If not, we can always get another piece of paper, right? It's only paper. Now, this one has a lot of little pieces, and I have a little scraper from, it's actually Pampered Chef, that I bring out. I just have a bunch of them. I sometimes give them away, but they work great for scraping those little bits off of the plates, the cutting plates. And that might be a little bit crooked. Or I might be doing a little trimming here. I thought I had it straight. I should have taped it. Now, normally I would just slam this down on my glass mat or my table and all these little bits would fall out. But I have too much stuff on my table. Oh, hey, Juju. Welcome. I think Una might have signed off already. I'm not sure. She was going to be heading to bed. We did one quickie card already. Because our niece's mother-in-law passed away today, so I needed to do a sympathy card. So we did that quick. And here's this. This is using the Peace on Earth set. And just the dies are available. The stamp set's not available anymore. So did you make some kind of bands on your live tonight, Juju? So look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It is a little crooked though, so I'm going to try to fix that. We're going to try to fix this. And what I'm doing is I'm lining up, hopefully, snippet rolls bases. I'm trying to line up the edge here to see if that kind of works. And then yep, that was a little crooked there. Now these I'm going to have to, yeah, these flowers are gorgeous. Although I didn't do so good laying it out on there. I might have to just scrap this and start over. I don't know. Although if I make a layer to go over the top of this, I could like frame it out. I don't know. That one needs to be a little narrower. All right, we're just gonna go with that. Close enough. I think it'll work. All right, and then for our flowers that go underneath here, do you like the stripes or do you like the dots? We're gonna do a different color. This is just from my goofing around with it. This is my sample. But it gives it a lot of dimension because there's actually 3 layers here now. And some of these, like the one that's got the texture, these actually can be pushed up to make even more dimension. See that? So again, I don't know if this is supposed to be hollyhocks or what this is. But they're pretty cool. All right, so that'll go, well, and there's some up here too. Juju, how's the weather by you? It's cold, very windy, 45 to 50 mile an hour gusts by us, and snowy. So those will kind of fit in those spots. And then that'll go behind here. So we just have to decide what color, what base color we want these flowers. Because we could do it all white. But if we use like the Lost Lagoon, we could do the flowers in Pretty Peacock and have them stand out. Maybe I'll just go get some Pretty Peacock here. I actually have it here. No, I don't. Let me get Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. And we'll cut them out of there and see what that looks like. Let me find a scrap. Oh, we could even, I've got a base ready. Oh my gosh. It was 72 and then it dropped to 32? Holy cow. Wow. At least we've only been in like the 40s and 30s, and now we're getting into the 20s tonight. Wow, that's cold. So if we put that there, if we do a little layer of maybe the polka dots, let me get my ruler and see, we've got 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. So I'm going to do 3 1/8 by 4 3/8, I guess. What's good for business or terrible for business? So if we put that there, let's do the, let me put this back in here. I was hoping Bonnie M was going to be on here so that I could show her how I touched up the ribbon from last night's card. She wasn't really a fan of that ribbon. Let me get this out of the way. And then let's, I'll probably bring out the little one now for more die cutting. So let's do Pretty Peacock for some of these layers here. So we can do this in Pretty Peacock. I see a little hanger-oner here from when I was playing with it. Let's run this through. Oh, the weather change. Oh, yeah, I get it now. I remember working, when I was in the ER, one night we had a blizzard, and 2 of our nurses actually walked to work, and no lie, the snow had gotten to be like 3 feet deep, and not just with drifting. It was horrible. But they walked to work. They struggled because they couldn't get their cars out, of course. I had already been there, but I ended up having to stay. I couldn't get home. So those of us that were there, we just extended our shift. Some people found unoccupied rooms and camped out. I just stayed up and worked the whole time. It was crazy. But yeah, it's amazing sometimes how the weather can bring in the business. All right, so we'll get some of these pieces out of here. I think I'm going to have to poke most of these out. That's what I was doing on the last one. So there are a lot of little bits in here, but it sure is pretty. Now there is a brush for dies, but personally I like either just dropping it on my table or using my take your pick tool and just poking those out. All right, and then we also need to do the other die. Where did it go? This one. And I don't know if I should do that maybe in the Lost Lagoon. We'll see how it looks. Put the cutting plate on top of the base. That might work a little bit better. And let's put the cutting one on, not the top one. I don't miss working in the ER. Those were some long shifts. And I worked 11 to 11, so that was always the busy shift. The 7 to 7, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. wasn't so busy. But I can't do that third shift part. That was too rough. Second shift was all right. But the benefit was, you know, working 12-hour days, I only had to work 3 days. And then if I picked up a 4-hour shift, I had my 40 hours in. I think I was considered a 0.9 at the 36 hours. I think that's what we called it. All right, so let's take a look at this. So there's that. And then there's that. And if we put that on there, is that too busy? Maybe monochromatic would be better. I don't know, that might look all right. Let me zoom it in so you can see better. I'll scooch that up a little bit. Can you see that with all those layers? All right, glue it. Glue it, glue it. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on here. Glue it. We'll shift that over just a little bit. Crooked. I'm having a difficult time getting things straight tonight. I think it might be because I have had such a knot in my shoulder and neck all day. Tension stuff. I think I'm just favoring one side maybe. All right, so let's go ahead and put some glue on here. Maybe, there we go. And I think I want to let this sit a little bit and become translucent so I don't have a gluey mess. Zoom out. I forget. Is that better? You don't want it to be like up right under your nose. Sorry. Awesome. How's your new lighting working out, Juju? All right, Vicky. Well, thanks for popping in. I don't know if you're still listening as you get ready for bed or what you're doing, but you sleep well. Thanks for popping in. I know you're not always available, so. All right, so I'm gonna let that just do its thing a little bit. Maybe. There. Let me get a little water and get that off of there. Since it flipped. All right, and then this piece, I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to put, maybe I'll use my fine tip glue. Let's see if that's working for me. Or if it's plugged up. That's all right, we have ways of fixing that. Yeah, this is really pretty. These probably don't need a whole lot of glue. Let's try to do it in some of the bigger spots maybe. That ought to work. This is a new die set that is called Fragrant Layers. So this is the stamp set, and where did my label go? Oh, here. So there's the dies. So we've got, these are obviously stems. We've got some other flower layers. We've got a bunch of leaves. There's a little cluster of flowers too. It looks like those will all cut out. Let's run that through with maybe some Lost Lagoon. See how that looks. Yeah, I think this is on pre-order. So I'm not sure if it's online exclusive or if it's from the new mini catalog. Let me look in my index. Fragrant Layers, let's see here. It is an online exclusive. It is not in the mini catalog. Yep, so these all come out individually. Let me get my little food scraper here. Those are cute. So let's go ahead and lay this on because my glue is all translucent now. So it's not going to be a glued up mess for me. Although I do see a little piece that has to come out of there. All right. So this way it becomes a little like a sticker and can be repositioned. And then we don't get glue all over everything. There we go. That's pretty. And then this, I'm going to let that sit for just a little bit more. And this, I don't know when you came in, but this was just out of some old cardstock I had because I wanted to see what it looked like. And that's how I discovered that this die, this one here, doesn't actually cut around the edges. It makes like a window. All right, which I think is really cool. I like that. All right, so let's do these flowers here and give them a little a little curviness. We might want to do some pretty peacock ones too and just layer them maybe. That might be fun. Where'd that piece go? Oh, there's one more in here. Yeah, I was, we made, I think you came on later, Juju, but our granddaughter's here again because she doesn't have school and mom and dad have to work. So she's staying overnight tonight and tomorrow night. So we made some more Christmas cookies. I found a mix or a box. It was like $1.25 at Aldi. And I didn't realize that it was cookie mix and frosting mix, basically, that you had to actually make the cookie dough and roll it out. Because the last kit I got that a friend of mine told me about was from Target. I don't usually shop at Target, but I wanted the cookie mix or the cookies to decorate. And so we ended up making cookie dough and rolling it out and doing the cookie cutter thing, and it was fun. And then we made the frosting and they actually tasted good. All right, so these, I think what we can do is kind of layer them like so, right? I think that'll work. So we'll just start putting, oh, for goodness sakes. It wants to come out. Time to get the other bottle here. I couldn't remember which one I was working off of. And then she likes to play Yahtzee. And she beat MacMan and me because she got a Yahtzee. We didn't. She's gotten pretty good at the whole strategy about what she should do as far as, you know, her points that she should record, if she should do 3 of a kind or if she should do her 4s or that. I don't know if you're familiar with Yahtzee, but I'm going to let those get a little translucent. This should be ready now. So that's going to go right about like so. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. Now, the other thing is, do we want some leaves? Because these leaf pieces can go under there. So, or do we just leave them open? Where did my card base go? And this I'm going to put up on adhesive strips, I think. I think that'll be good. But anyway, she's been doing really good learning strategy. You know, but I mean, we've coached her obviously and taught her how to play, but she's doing good. And she thinks it's great when she can beat us. You know, something else, this probably would have made a fun little shaker card too. Oops. Maybe another one I'll do as a shaker card. Man, our wind is really howling out there. I'm just going to cut one more piece for this edge here. All right, so I'm not going to take those off yet because we need to decide, do we want some leaves on there? And if we want leaves, what color do we want them to be? Granny Apple Green is what's listed here. Oh, that's not the one I want. That's Secret Sea. I need to look for Lost Lagoon. Cloud cover. Lost Lagoon doesn't have a green. Let's see, Pretty Peacock is out here somewhere. And then we need to decide also what sentiment we want to use. So I know I have the Lost Lagoon out here somewhere. What did I do with the ink? Well, let's grab another one. What did I do with it? No, not Lost Lagoon. I need Pretty Peacock. That's what I'm looking for. Soft Seafoam. All right, so Pretty Peacock suggests soft seafoam, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to let those sit just a little bit more. I guess a couple of these are ready to go. We may not even use these. I don't know. We'll see how it looks. We'll let those few sit because that's a lot of glue still. All right, let's try these leaves in soft seafoam. See how those look. I think that is beautiful. I love that. Everybody must be tired after their weekend. Pretty quiet, and it's not because I'm not keeping up with the comments, because I can see that I keep flicking it a little bit to make sure that I'm at the top, so. Those might be too little to bounce out. There we go. There, we got it. My granddaughter loves doing that. All right. So this can go back here, or we could lay it on top. On top or underneath, do you think? So there's on top. And here is underneath. What do you think? On top or under? Under would be more consistent, but it also hides quite a bit of the leaf. I think I'll put it underneath, and we can always put one on top. That's what I'll do. We can always put one on top in the cluster of other flowers. All right. We need glue on here. Love and Pieces. I was going to say, welcome. You've not been here before. Well, thanks for joining us. Well, great. I'm glad you're watching. You must have maybe watched before, just not live. Always glad to have more. The more the merrier, I say. Yeah, this was not originally on my radar for the pre-order. But then I saw somebody, one of the demonstrators, posted in our demonstrator planning place, and I thought, oh, that is really quite stunning. So I think that'll work. So I decided to get it, I think, probably on my second order or my third pre-order. I don't remember. Oh, and Juju, my paper pumpkin has not come yet. Ah! First it said the 26th or the 24th, and then I think it said the 26th, and then the 27th and 28th, and now when I looked at it again, it said the 29th. Because mine this time is coming via UPS. So, Love and Pieces, welcome. What is your first name and where are you watching us from? Oh, and this I'm going to have to break this stem off because it's going to be too big to tuck in there. I love that. Suzanne from Arkansas, welcome. I'll have to write that down and try to remember. Suzanne from Arkansas. Does it bother you when people say Arkansas just to be funny? And Pieces. So you obviously do hand sewing. What other kind of crafts do you do? Alrighty. Let's get these last little flowers on and see what we want to do there. I put the die in your cart. Oh, yeah. And I'm not sure when they're going to release the next product of the month. We've just heard that it'll be usually during that first week. I'm guessing maybe on the Tuesday when they give our updates, our weekly updates. I don't know for sure. Just a guess. Yes, Susan, you are Aussie. You're funny. Well, it's Arkansas. It's not Arkansas, it's Arkansas. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that's how I've been saying it my whole life. Arkansas is just kind of a facetious thing. All right, so I think we can go ahead and probably put this down. I almost wonder if I should have put something on the framing, but it's glued together now, so maybe on another card. But if we put some of these on here, maybe as little flourishes or something, that might work. And then we have to figure out too what kind of sentiment we want on here. I've got all the dies. Well, we didn't use those, but I don't know that I want to put any more flowers. Like this will go like this with a stem, you know, that'll layer there. That might look kind of cute, but I think I'm just going to stop at this. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Maybe we'll play with this again tomorrow. Put that on my magnet. My magnet's getting kind of overloaded here. There we go. All right. So let's take these strips off and put this on. Oh yeah, we'll be putting some bling in the centers because they need it. I'm in Wisconsin. I'm between Milwaukee and Chicago, so I'm in the southeastern corner. So, oh, and that's laying on there crooked. Oh, it's just a little bit, and I pressed it all down too. It's going to stay there. Hopefully whoever I give it to won't notice. So my county is on Lake Michigan. All right, so Lake Michigan is one of our borders. I, however, live on the far west end of the county, so it takes me probably about 40 minutes to get to the lake. All right, so what do we want to do? Just a note, maybe? Oh, there's that, but there's no die for the center. So there's a stamp for the centers, just not a die for the centers. But we'll figure that out. It's your day, just a note, or so happy for you. So is the emphasis for Arkansas on both the first two syllables? Because I thought it was more like arc, A-R-K or A-R-C, Arkansas. All right, Suzanne, you'll have to educate us here. All right, what do we want? I think I'm going to do just a note if nobody's talking. Let's get the stamp set here. And the thing with the stamp sets, Juju, I don't think you were on here yet, but some of these stamps some of these stamps are what we they used to call them distinctive, so there's like pixels in there, so it automatically does some shading. All right, so don't have too inky of an ink pad, or don't squish your ink pad down on there, because then you ruin all of that texture that's built into the stamp. So I think I'm going to do just a note. Did I say that already? Just a note. Arkansas. Alrighty, let's get a block. Arkansas. I'll just have to practice, make sure I'm saying it right. All right, and I'm thinking Lost Pretty Peacock. And we're going to do that on a white strip. I could have done it right on there if I wouldn't have put my adhesive on there first. But since I did, I'm going to put that more here. That's pretty. And then I thought that just to note, it would just barely fit. So we're going to use this bigger one. And then we'll put flowers on, the sides. Hello, Robert. Welcome. I'm trying to clean as I go. Yesterday, man, I had such a mess here. So Juju, too, I don't know if you were here. I showed this one. Bonnie thought the yellow ribbon was too bright yellow, so I toned it down and added some of the petal pink and calypso coral. If it wasn't orange, she might like it better. She's not a fan of orange, but I did try to adjust it a little, and I think it helped. That's our card from one of the cards from last night. We did 3 of them. I think I'm going to have to get my washi tape on here. Yeah, I think it did. It toned it down a little bit, and I think it melded it a little bit better. So Robert, how's the weather by you? Some of us are having wintry, cold, blustery weather. This is old Stampin' Up! Washi tape. You can tell how long I've had that. It's been a while. All right, so this we could kind of put in the center like one of those old like Polaroids. Do you remember the Polaroid camera that had the big strip at the bottom? But I'm thinking I need to soften up those edges somehow, in addition to putting flowers on there. Now that was with the Lost Lagoon. I think that helps maybe a little bit. But I thought I had blending brushes out here too, but I don't know where they went. So we'll just put a couple flowers on here too. So I'm going to glue this on. Slippery sidewalks, freezing snow. And where are you again? Are you in Canada? I don't remember. I have a good memory. It's just short sometimes. Whoops. Make sure we put it on right side up. All right, and then Toronto. Okay, I did remember. I didn't remember exactly where, but at least I remembered Canada. I think we'll leave it at 5. It still looks crooked to me, so just kind of look at it like it's straight. And then let's find some gems. Oh, and this is cool. This also makes a nice little frame that's textured. I could have put that on there. These aren't set yet. What do we think of that? Does that look stupid with the circles on the sides? Oh, Susan, enjoy your dinner. Your husband cooked dinner. Yum. We had pork loin and salad yesterday. Today we just had pizza. All right, so that doesn't look good with that. That's what I was kind of thinking there, that it looking off at, you know, once I took it off and thought, oh, that might be a little much. I think it'll look better if it was within the borders of a layer. So add gems to the sides. Like faux brads. Oh yeah, that would be pretty, huh? We'll save this. I'll do that maybe on the card for tomorrow. So let's find some little gems here. Now we have some new ones that have clear and ladybugs. I think the ladybugs are a bit much for this. But the clear might look good in those. Can you see that? If we put clear dots in the middle of those flowers, it would kind of accentuate the color of the Lost Lagoon. Or I could get like some rhinestones. Let's see what else we have here as far as new stuff. See. Try it. You mean try this with the brads in now? These would make pretty brads on there. I just need to slice this side open. Clear in the center. Yeah, those look pretty good that way. I think it accentuated the color. So it would be like that with those flowers off. I still think it's, because right now it doesn't have anything to ground those brads into. So I think we'll hang on to that for tomorrow though. I like it with those brads. These are the faux bronze pentagons. These are new. And then let's do, what did I do with, oh, the clear one's right here. And I think we can probably use the bigger ones. I'm going to use the pointy one. Yeah, they do. They just kind of echo or accentuate the color that's already there. Luckily, I have 2 packs of these. These are new with the ladybugs. I think those will be fun. Oh, for goodness sakes. There we go. Maybe a little splatter on there would soften up that white a little bit. What do you think? These are new too, but they don't work for this card. Pearlized faceted circles. Those are pretty awesome too. Oh, I suppose I should zoom back out here. Sorry. The ladybugs are expensive. You mean for each ladybug? No, it's not that expensive. So the whole pack is $8. There's 72 pieces in here. So, yeah, it doesn't look like it, but there's 72 pieces in there. There's a lot. 2, 4, 6, 8, so 32 of each. All right, splatter you think or no? I kind of like that. I won't do it on the sentiment. I kind of like that. Oh, no splatter. Well, too late. Your comment came in too late. See, it's just light though. It just gives it just a little soft, almost like an antiquing on there. Yeah, the comments on my feed are a little delayed, I've noticed. So it is what it is. So that's our card for tonight. Sorry, it's a little crooked. I might have to try to peel that up and fix it because that's going to bother me. So it's just a little bit off. I could maybe trim part of the card, right? Nobody will know. Nobody will ever know. So I think we're back out, zoomed out. I do just like the splatters. But that white was really bright, and now the white is not so bright, and I think it flows a little bit better. There's not splatters in here, though. I kept it pretty much to just the border, and I didn't put any splatters there, so we compromised. Look at this one. This little sheep, have you seen that? There's a punch that goes with this, and I'm thinking this little sheep needs to go on a wobble so that when you flick it, it shakes on your card. We're going to be playing with that pretty soon too. So that's all I have for tonight, folks. Maybe we'll play with this again tomorrow in some other colors. We'll find a place to put this with the brads on because I do like that. That's kind of cool. So that we can ground it in there. Yeah, that little sheep is adorable. It's called Woolly Friends if you didn't see that. And there's a punch. Like I said, there's a punch. It's in my box of goodies that I've not sorted through yet. So maybe we should play with that one tomorrow. So should we play with the sheep or play with this again? I have not done any premiere recordings. I'm either live or I'm not here. Well, Yeah, that would be kind of fun. We'll see. We'll play with it. We'll play with this. You want to play with this one tomorrow then? Okay, yeah, I see sheep on here now. Okay, cool. We'll play with this one tomorrow. And I'll pull my punch out. Hopefully, well, Riley's going to be here. So we'll see how much craft time we get. I've got a couple of kits she could work on though, and she likes doing kits, so we'll see. I love the flower dies. I think these are just, I've got a whole, we used almost all of them. We just didn't use the ones on the stem. So I think it's really pretty how they make the layers so that there's some dimension in there. So yeah, I like it. Thank you very much. Lori, I didn't even realize you popped in. Did you just pop in now? Is that your first comment? Were you watching from the balcony? There might be a couple of people there. I don't know. So, all right. That's all I got, folks. I've been on here almost 2 hours again. Kind of crazy. So the first card that I did was a sympathy card. Unfortunately, our niece's mother-in-law passed away, so I needed to get a sympathy card done because I want to put it in the mail tomorrow. I'll still have to make a couple of more, but I did this with the Peace on Earth set. The stamp set is gone, but the dies are still available, so if you like those dies. And the foliage piece is from one of the new sets that I've been playing with the last couple of days, so... all right, well, I'm glad you were here, Lori. Good to see you. All right, so that one we did, and then this one took a little longer just because we were kind of putzing around with it. And then tomorrow, we'll play with our little woolly friends. Thank you for joining me, everybody. I appreciate you popping in. And then, Suzanne, if you're still here, if you haven't subscribed to my channel. You'll get notified. I go on live pretty much every night. I try to be on before midnight. Juju has her live like right before mine. Juju, do you normally go on like 9:30, 10? Probably 10. Maybe you're closer to 10. I don't know. But Juju goes on before I do, and I don't want to compete with that. And then, oh, thank you very much for your sentiments there, Suzanne. I appreciate it. All right, so anyway, I try to get on here before midnight every night. My window is hopefully between 11 and midnight, but it's usually closer to midnight because that's when my husband has gone to bed and then the house is kind of quiet, and then I can kind of enjoy the peace and quiet and go from there. All right, so Suzanne, Juju does junk journaling, and she weaves all kinds of stuff into that. I think that's all we've got. I don't see any other comments popping on here. Something's blowing in front of my front door because my Ring doorbell just went off. I am Central Time. So right now it is 1:45 a.m. Wear your pearls. Yeah. It's not so bad, Juju. Oh, very good. I'm glad you're subscribed. Yeah, and if you watch Juju, you know, you can always catch her replays and just up the speed. It'll be hilarious. For those of us that don't have the southern drawl, if you will. I don't know if you can really call it a drawl, but I love it. Oh, I suppose not. Your mom might not approve, but it's all good. You were cracking me up, though, with your whiskey. Yeah, I'm teasing. Don't do double speed. Do just normal speed. There are times when I do speed it up, though, now that I understand some of the lingo. Well, I could tell your first sip. You kind of like gasped. I don't know if you noticed that. It was I thought it was kind of funny. I think you kept drinking it though, even though it was strong, because I heard those ice cubes clinking in the glass every once in a while. What kind of work do you do that you have a lot of videos in your work? Do you have a channel that you do any crafting stuff on or no? Yeah, every once in a while I'll have a little tippy cow in here, um, but not very often because I'm afraid I'll spill it. My water, at least when I have my water, I've got it in my little like Stampin' Up travel cup. So if it tips over, I have a little bit of leeway to get it all cleaned up. Yeah, I knew you meant live. Oh boy. All right, well, I'm going to sign off. It's almost 2 in the morning here. I should get a little bit of sleep because my granddaughter will be up plenty early. Papa will keep her occupied so as not to wake me up too early, but I could put the tippy cow on that. Oh, that's nice. You teach online for nonprofit. Oh, okay. And you design courses. Oh, that's a lot of computer time then. So is your channel unrelated to the nonprofit? Because you said it's just to blow off steam. Good night, Lori. All right. Well, next time you stop in, you can give us more details. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Until next time, happy crafting.